Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the second qualifying race for the Titanic 200. 3 drivers in this 23 truck field will realize their dream and make their way into the 5th race of the Season 3 Oreo Truck Series. On the pole for this race, we have Brian Young. Brian Young is taking over the 07 car for Aaron Williams. Williams pretty much concentrating on his number 64 ride over in the Snickers Cup Series now. So the 07 car being driven at least for this race, maybe for the rest of the season, by Brian Young. Alongside him, Nick Bergen in the 48. Then you got Justin Perry in the 51 and Dylan Poteet in the 15 car. Remember, 3 drivers will qualify their way in. We got a few new faces making up row number 3. That is Jake Croven in the 18, taking over that ride for Matthew McMurray. And Jessica Miller moved out of the 29 car into the 59, replacing Carlos Martinez. So Jessica Miller in the 59 car this season, for the rest of the season. And also, I believe there's another driver that's new. We're going to find out that driver in just a moment. Here's the 23 truck field for the second qualifying race. So we will get ready to go under the green flag. 25 laps of racing. This is going to be pretty exciting. Top 3 drivers will transfer their way in to the race. I said that there was another new driver. I was mistaken. I was referring to Natalie Scott in the 28, but she actually was in the qualifying race last week at Bullitt Superspeedway and ended up making her first career start there as well. But her finish was not good enough to get her inside the top 35 in points, so she is once again trying to qualify her way into this race here at Auto Club Speedway. So, some new faces and new rides, 3 of them in the top 6. Brian Young, the leader here, in the 07, then Jake Croven in the 18, and Jessica Miller in the 59. Green flag is out. Let's see if those fresh faces bring about some fresh changes in those rides, and maybe they can make their first career starts. Brian Young leads them down into turn 1, puts the block on Justin Perry's. They are 3 wide further back. Ryan Cooper looking to the inside. I think that was Logan Ryan. Tell you, 2 drivers who are not going to be very happy with each other this race, and that is Trent Dunham and Logan Ryan. Trent Dunham was actually on his way to qualifying into last week's race at Bullitt Superspeedway, but he ended up getting flat out turned by Logan Ryan, and it caused a huge wreck that involved Logan Ryan actually having to stay in the infield care center for medical attention after getting pretty bumped and bruised after barrel rolling through the tunnel. So Trent Dunham, and Logan Ryan, I don't think are quite on speaking terms with each other, but we'll see how they'll handle each other during this races. Brian Young really got a big jump on the rest of the field, but Justin Perry is determined to run him down. We'll see if he can do it here in turn 3. Cody Amos getting moved 3 wide there for the 3rd position as Kenji Sato and Mike Dawson actually make it 4 wide there off the turn 4 area. Ryan Cooper getting the short end of the stick there, getting moved way up to that high groove. They continue to battle there, trying to figure out who's... Oh, that's Richard Johnson, I think, the Snap-on race car. Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool paint scheme, that number 92 car, but he's being challenged now as he gets shuffled into the middle and now to the high side, as Ray Wilson will go by in the 24, and also Trent Dunham in the 8 car. Oh, contact between Ray Wilson and Kenji Sato almost sent Sato and Ray Wilson up into the outside retaining wall. And it's a 3 wide battle for the lead, possibly, unless Brian Young can go down and block him. No, he can't. It's a 3 wide battle. Cody Amos will take... Oh, contact! Aye. Jake Berg now going to challenge his teammate Cody Amos for that top spot. Jake Berg in the 20 truck. his teammate Cody Yamas in the 18. Both those drivers ended up making the race last week, if I remember correctly. Yamas and Jake Berg, but their finish is not good enough to get them inside the top 35, so they're back here qualifying again. Ray Wilson, Ryan Cooper, they've now taken 3rd and 4th from Justin Perry. Trent Dunham starting to get into this mix here now. And Jeff Ehlers starting to move his way up into the top 10 in the 44 car. New leader, Jake Berg in the 20. Ryan Cooper will slide by Ray Wilson. That is for 2nd. Trent Dunham now going to challenge Wilson for the 3rd position. That would be the final transfer spot. Jake Berg leads though. Ryan Cooper now going to get challenged by Trent Dunham for 2nd. Dunham's got a pretty good piece underneath him as he continues to move his way up to the front in that Oreo Chevrolet. Dunham had a good piece on him underneath him last week at Bullet Super Speedway, but unfortunately, as luck would have it, he got turned there in the final laps of the race. While running, I believe he was in 2nd position. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of speculation as to why Logan Ryan did turn Trent Dunham, because both those drivers were poised to be able to transfer their way into their first career starts. Or not in their first career starts, but transfer their way into the NNSCRA 200. And a lot of people were wondering why Logan Ryan would make such a move when he was going to be able to be locked into the 42 truck field. Seen another driver working his way up through the field. That's the number 15 car of Dylan Poteet, as he challenges to the inside now of Cody Yamas and Jeff Ehlers. Poteet trying to make his first career Oreo Truck Series start in that 15 car. He's had quite a bit of hard luck in the NNSCRA as of late, trying to get into races. But the Race View Toyota Tundra is now poised and ready to take the 2nd position here at any moment, as he is behind Justin Perry. Well, now it looks like he's going to get shuffled 4 wide. Ray Wilson going to stick him and Jake Croven and Ryan Cooper into a 4 wide sandwich off into turn 1. Oh, contact! Oh, Dylan Poteet made contact with Jake Croven. I thought Croven was going to go up into Ryan Cooper. That did not happen, though, thank heavens. Trent Dunham now going to challenge Jake Berg for the top spot. You can bet Trent Dunham's going to be up here at the front all day long, no doubt about that, as he is going to take the lead. Justin Perry going to try and take 2nd from Jake Berg, but Berg, very strong off turn 4, puts the crossover move on Trent Dunham. Man, did that 20 car have a run coming off turn 4. Very strong piece in that number 20. If he made the race, I wouldn't put it past him to win the Titanic 200. But still, anything can happen. Here comes Dylan Young into the top 5 there in the Redman Chevy Silverado, as he will go by Trent Dunham for that 4th position. And Ray Wilson's going to take the lead as he moves Jake Berg out of the way, but that may not be for long. Here comes Dylan Young to the inside. They're going to go 3 wide to the stripe, but Justin Perry gets the run on the high side, and he will lead. Dylan Young 2nd, Ray Wilson now 3rd. As still further back, more drivers coming into the mix. Tim Fiegel is in the mix now. Logan Ryan, Trey Campbell coming up that inside line there in the Nesquik Toyota Tundra. One driver we have not seen up at the front yet today, which has rather surprised me, is the 86 of Wyatt Morgan, as well as Carter Sinclair and Mike Dawson, but they are starting to work their way up to the front now. There's Richard Johnson. We haven't seen him really up at the front either, as he's starting to move his way up. And also a driver who started in 6th position, Jessica Miller. We haven't seen her up at the front lately, and she's starting to try and work her way up to the front, but she's kind of caught on the high side of no! There they go into the wall! And if I'm not mistaken, I think that was Trent Dunham and Logan Ryan. Dunham is into the fence. Ray Wilson is involved. Logan Ryan is involved. Our pole sitter, Brian Young, as well as Kenji Sato are involved. It does not bring out the caution, though. Again, we do not have the caution coming out for a wreck. Cody Yamas battling for the lead now, as it's pretty much a 5-car breakaway. But let's see what happened. I think Trent Dunham may have turned Logan Ryan. There may have been some revenge in that. Watch right here, the 00 and the 8, they are side by side. They start leaning on each other, heading into turn 1. And right here, yeah, they kept they bounced off each other several times. And then it sends them up into Ray Wilson, and it's a tough break for Wilson and Logan Ryan. Oh, Kenji Sato and Brian Young must have had something happen earlier. But tough break for Ray Wilson, who was running 5th at the time. But there was contact between the 8 and the 00. And I would have to put the blame on both the drivers, I would think, because it seemed like Dunham came down and Logan Ryan came up. And obviously the tempers are still flaring from what happened back at Bullet Super Speedway. But I think NNSCRA may have to take that in hand. I don't know for certain. Let's go back a little bit further. We're going to find out what happened to our pole sitter, Brian Scott, along with Kenji Sato. And I apologize for saying Brian Scott. I'm thinking of NASCAR Nationwide Series driver. But here it is right here off this corner. I think maybe the 07 car is going to get a little bit loose. Will our pole sitter, Brian Young? Oh, no, there was contact between Jake Croven, Wyatt Morgan, and Mike Dawson, and it sent them up into Kenji Sato and Brian Young. So really no harm, no foul there, but obviously it is a tough break for both those drivers since they are now going to be pretty much out of getting into those 3 transfer spots. I think Jessica Miller may have made a little bit of contact with Kenji Sato as well, but not really a lot of heavy damage for the 59. But that's what happened to our pole sitter, Brian Young, and Kenji Sato. Let's go back to the battle for the lead. And it is now a battle between Trey Campbell, Ryan Cooper, Dylan Young, and Justin Perry, as Cody Yamas has suddenly slid up there into the 5th position after leading. We told you that damage didn't seem to be too bad for Jessica Miller. That's the case, because she is now challenging for, that would be position number 4, I think now. She's 3 wide with Dylan Young and Cody Yamas. But we do have some drivers out of the race after that incident that occurred, and they are Logan Ryan and Ray Wilson. So, tough break for them. One driver that is still in it is Trent Dunham. See him here trying to work his way back up. He and Dylan Poteet together there. They are 14th and 15th right now. But they're not out of it. We still have a ways to go. Leader is still Trey Campbell in the 87. Ryan Cooper is now 2nd. 3rd on the high side is Justin Perry. That's the top 3 transfer spots, but we have about 8 laps remaining in this race. Here comes Dylan Young, Jeff Ehlers to the inside, challenging Jessica Miller and Justin Perry for those spots. Cody Yamas now slides into 3rd place. Takes that coveted 3rd spot in this event. Dylan Young, though, along with Jeff Ehlers, I'm sure going to try and challenge for that spot, as now a battle is on for the lead. Ryan Cooper wants to lead it and will do so. Cooper to the front in the 32 truck. One of the dominant trucks all day long, Jake Berg, slid back, and now he's making his return back into the top 5, as now he challenges, I think, Jeff Ehlers for that 4th position. Actually, that's for 5th. Jessica Miller now challenging there. That's going to be a 3-wide battle heading into turn 1. Trey Campbell, though, back to the front after bypassing Ryan Cooper once again. Dylan Young still very much in this as he runs in 3rd. Cody Yamas is in 4th. And we are just moments away from a 5-lap-to-go signal. Let's look back here through the field. Some of the other drivers that are in it to maybe win it. Jeff Ehlers there. Richard Johnson is there. Jacob Lowe, we haven't talked about him all day. He is there. How about Dylan Poteet and Tim Fiegel? Also Carter Sinclair, haven't talked about him at all today as well. They could still make moves here in the closing stages of this race, but they don't have much time. Just about 5 laps remaining in this race. Ryan Cooper now takes the top spot back over from Trey Campbell. Cooper and Campbell have been swapping the lead back and forth. Campbell will not be able to try and swap it back this time, so he's going to get freight trained by Cody Yamas, Jessica Miller, and Richard Johnson. Yamas, speaking of which, is going to go to the front. Cody Yamas will take the lead. Ryan Cooper slides to 2nd. Richard Johnson right there in 3rd. He could go for 2nd place. Richard Johnson looking to make his first career Truck Series race. Jacob Lawler, he's suddenly gotten back into the mix here in the 02 car. And just like that, Trent Dunham is back up in the mix in the 8 car. Going to have a new face in the Oreo Truck Series Titanic 200. The 11 car will be under new driver ownership, as Vincent Marsh has decided to concentrate only on his number 18 truck. Mark George will be coming in, filling in for the rest of the season in that number 11 car. So we'll see how Mark George does in the Oreo Truck Series. He does race over in the Snickers Cup Series, but he is yet to qualify for a race, so he will be in the 12th position in points coming into the Titanic 200 coming up this weekend. Jacob Lawler, new leader in the 02 car. Trey Campbell second. Jake Berg and Jake Croven suddenly up here in this mix. Is Croven, oh my goodness, did he just do what I think he did? Yeah, he went in the middle and got the second position still. But Lawler, he is long gone, waving goodbye to this field, but he may not be out of the woods yet. Carter Sinclair suddenly moving up into this pack here. Wyatt Morgan is there. Richard Johnson is there. So we've got 3 laps, make it 2.5 now remaining in this event. Who will get the third position? Who will get second? Who will win this race? It still is not yet certain who's going to get that top spot. Lawler still leads. Ooh, Richard Johnson to the inside of Carter Sinclair. Ever so close there. But Carter's going to be able to battle back on the high side. Richard Johnson right now, he's the bone. Everybody else is a pack of dogs. Richard Johnson, though, about to be challenged. It's going to be Wyatt Morgan to the inside. Oh, Croven and Berg make contact off turn 1, but save it. Look at Trent Dunham. Dunham has suddenly found his way back up here into the top 4. Trent Dunham, as he's going to try and battle with Wyatt Morgan, that would be for the coveted number 3 position. Dunham has got to be on his A game to bypass Wyatt Morgan. But Carter Sinclair, on the other hand, he's trying to catch up to Jacob Lawler to win this qualifying race. Here we go. White flag is displayed. It is Lawler, Sinclair, and I think Wyatt Morgan is the third place car right now. But here comes Carter Sinclair to the inside of Jacob Lawler. This is for position number 1. Lawler may end up getting the short end of the stick and slip all the way back outside of the top 3 here. Here comes Richard Johnson. Here comes Trent Dunham. Here we go. Wyatt Morgan to the inside line for the lead. It's going to be Wyatt Morgan, Richard Johnson, Trent Dunham trying to bypass Carter Sinclair. Can Sinclair hold on? Sinclair going to battle back on the high side. Here we go. Carter Sinclair, Wyatt Morgan, and a drag race for third place, won by Jacob Lawler. Carter Sinclair wins, Wyatt Morgan second, and Jacob Lawler just barely gets the third position from Richard Johnson and Trent Dunham to qualify his way in to the Titanic 200. Oh my goodness, that was a great battle for third. Outside line getting a bit of a run, and it allowed Jacob Lawler to get that third position. Wyatt Morgan looks like he'll make his first career start, and I think Carter Sinclair will be doing the same as he wins this race. Great job by Sinclair. He was not up at the front, basically, for most of this race until the very end, and a great run for Sinclair as he will make the race along with Wyatt Morgan and Jacob Lawler. The standings are in. Richard Johnson, oh so close. Same for Trent Dunham. They were so close to getting that third spot. Nick Bergen in 6th, Dylan Poteet 7th, Jessica Miller in 8th, Tim Fiegel 9th, and Justin Perry in the 10th position. You can take a look at where you finished here. Only 2 drivers, finished out of the race, Ray Wilson and Logan Ryan. You can bet that feud between Ryan and Dunham is not over. That has now moved into its 2nd race, and I would really hate to see what happens next week in the qualifying race, but nonetheless, Sinclair, Morgan, and Lawler realize their dreams. They will make the Titanic 200 along with the other 39 drivers who have qualified their way in, either via the first qualifying race or being in the top 35 in points. Hope that you'll tune in for those races, but we have the Titanic 300, Mobile One Cup Series, and Titanic 400 Snickers Cup Series qualifying races coming up next. You've been watching the NNSCRA Sports Channel, offline racing at its best.